Okay, so it's so amazing to have you here. We've been talking about women and the war, the riots, the Arab Spring, and everything that's been going on. And I think getting a perspective about the effect that war has on our communities, whether we're in Baghdad ourselves with Apache helicopters raining down bullet fire on us, or whether we're here in London, do you think that the people, the real human beings and real families and women and cousins and grandmothers are going to come out and support WikiLeaks in their tremendous work uncovering these war crimes?
I'll be ashamed if they don't. Let's put it that way. I'd be ashamed of my fellow countrymen if they don't defend Julian Assange, because basically what it comes down to is a broken condom, I believe. What the hell has that got to do with anything? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. He's committed no crime. As far as I'm concerned, I don't see what, you know, the criminals are the American government who are trying to extradite him so they can murder or torture him and lock him away for trying to help people.
There was a recent CIA whistleblower who within the CIA released a few details to a New York Times correspondent, and then is now going to jail for 30 years. And I think this kind of harsh sentencing is coming about as a precursor to what kind of draconian punishment may be suiting Julian Assange in this scheme of things. And like I, as an American citizen, am very concerned with how I can turn my government around, how I could get some sense of international outrage about why the U.S. government has been so deliberately anti-international law, anti-human rights. And what I've been finding is that in the European community there is a very anti-human rights perspective, as well as very sort of, I don't want to say cowardly, but some of the attitudes I think in England I've noticed are very much like, we're so scared of the surveillance state that we can't put our name on this, please don't put my name in your video blog, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, well, supporting human rights in secret is not really helping anyone, and how can our human rights advocates be empowered to truly have a real picture about what's going on in the international law community?
I mean, I think it's, yeah, again, the era of paranoia, which is how they want people to be. They want people to be afraid. They want you to think, oh my goodness, I don't want my name on that, someone might get me. Nothing is going to happen to you. You know what? They can't lock up the whole country, can they?
Right.
You know, that's...
Do you feel like speaking about WikiLeaks on a YouTube video is going beyond like your safety zone, or do you feel very comfortable?
And if it does, then all the more reason to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, if it's not safe, then we should all be doing it. Put everybody's face on it. Everybody stand up and put your face on it.
Right.
And then, you know what? They're going to arrest the whole country. Yeah. Until we all stand up, this is the point. We have to stand up and be counted. You know.
Do you think
I'm almost imagining this website with the WikiLeaks globe and like people's faces in the globe from like all around the world who are saying, so, I stand for WikiLeaks.
Cool. So do you think that the analogy of the good German has any resonance for the current everyday English person or American who's currently basically complicitly going along with war crimes in Iraq, war crimes and crimes against humanity, torture in Guantanamo, Bagram Air Base, Abu Ghraib, all of these places of atrocity?
I think it's easy to turn a blind eye when, you know, constantly they've got on the TV that, you know, it's justified, or that, you know, and keeping people in fear. If you frighten them all the time, they're not thinking rationally.
Right.
So, oh yeah, we know Guantanamo Bay is bad, but we don't really want to deal with it, or, you know, we can't do anything about it anyway, so what's the point?
Right.
Or, you know, because people have been made to feel disempowered and fearful, and, you know, if you can make people realise that, you know, you've got nothing to be afraid of, and that, you know, you do have power. Every single human being has power.
Yeah. You
know, and if we all come together, that's where our real power lies. You know, everyone's willing to stand up and say, you know, I, Julia, do stand up for Julian Assange, and I do believe that what he's doing, you know, is a good and honourable thing. He's exposing crime. He's protecting people's children. That's you know, how can you twist that into something illegal and bad and try and criminalise this man for exposing crime?
Right.
So when was exposing crime a crime?
Right.
You know? Yeah. If I come and kill you and someone phones the police, what, they're going to arrest them for tattletaling?
Right, exactly. Whistleblowing and whistleblower protection law, and that's so essential to this whole thing. And I think it's just so
typical of the Americans, you know. He's telling the truth. Shut him up.
Yeah,
you know, Bill Hicks had it, didn't he?
Yeah.
We kill those people.
Well,
you know,
there's so much more to keep talking about. I think we could.
That's what I fear for, really, is that they will disappear Julian Assange. you know, torture him, murder him, disappear him, you know, silence him. That's what the Americans do. That's what the American government does when they don't. You know, that's what they did to Kennedy, that's what they did to John Lennon, that's what they did to Martin Luther King.
What kind of uprising will that cause? Will people, you know, will there be a blip on the map? Will people rise up? Will it just
seems to be the same threat. You know, what happened when Kennedy was shot? What happened when John Lennon was shot?
People kind of get depressed. It's like the cultural shock.
Either that, or they're just so dull and down that they look at the news and go, "Oh look, you know, a lunatic shot Julian Assange on his way to whatever through the window of the car." You know, and it's blatantly an assassination. You know, this is...
That's some of the things WikiLeaks was exposing, are these incredible extrajudicial
What gets me is how we keep going round and round in the same cycles, doing the same things, and yet people still aren't waking up to it. And
I think, honestly, the whole project of WikiLeaks is too vast for anyone to comprehend. Like, I think if people start poring over those cables...
I mean, there's stratification and
my gosh,
you know, the really disempowerment of human beings, and the brainwashing with TV is our...
Simple formulas, always kind of adversarial, getting sucked into something.
And it's so hard to stand up and fight against that when, you know, the media is very clever and the government's very clever. They use the word rapist. You know, oh God, what if he is a rapist? I don't want to stick up for him. And what if, you know, and don't want to put my name to that. You know, I don't believe for 1 minute that Julian Assange is a rapist. I think he's a wonderful man who's trying to stop, you know, crimes. But unfortunately, people watch the TV and they're so bogged down in this fear. They rapist, you know, fear. Let's just, I don't really want to get involved in that. That's a dirty, especially in Britain. You know, they're clever, aren't they? In America, they'd probably said paedophile. Because the public opinion and the way they
the misogyny is so intense there, you know, even that has no
oversell paedophilia in the you know, be so afraid that you daren't let your children in the garden, don't talk to your neighbours, let's all be separate, you know, keep us divided so we don't trust each other all the time, and how can we come together as a force when no one trusts each other? Oh my God, he's standing too close, he might be touching my child. Oh look, he might be a rapist. Oh, you know. Oh look, that one's wearing a hoodie, he's going to stab me and take my purse.
But you know what is so mind-blowing to me from even like a woman's perspective is that if you open up your WikiLeaks cables, you have cables discussing organized crime rings selling tens of thousands of women into sexual slavery from Tel Aviv to Russia to London to Los Angeles, like huge human trafficking rings of sex slaves. And I'm thinking, only somebody who truly loved and respected women would bring this kind of story up for the liberation of all these sex slaves who have been so disregarded by the media, the press, and there are not adequate nonprofits to assess their needs and to liberate them now. And that immediate human liberation for them needs, in my opinion, WikiLeaks methods. And then sort of how ironic is it that someone who grew up with such a loving mother and such a beautiful background is then so criminalized in such a devious way. And then, like, I did research in Sweden that just kind of knocked the whole case out of the water, and that was really tragic and sad to me. But then seeing
because they don't want us to love, they just want us to kill and to approve of killing, and
and that was actually
as far as I'm aware, the Bible says thou shalt not kill. You know, I missed the line underneath that said unless your government pays you. You know, if I kill you, I'm a murderer. You know, if a soldier shoots a 10-year-old boy in the face, he's a hero. You just, there's no sense in that to me. Killing's killing. Everyone's someone's child.
And what if, like, the world flipped like a switch? What if everyone woke up and said, hey, that murder was awful, like the toxic dumping, awful, don't like it, uranium, the weapons trafficking, the weapons industry, obviously behind this. And we all somehow, like, maybe got Bradley Manning out of prison.
And stopped supporting it, you know. I mean, I don't really know how. I just know that
living off the grid,
and it's changing the way you think. Like you know, thinking of things on a wider scale. You know, we all love our children, no matter what kind of people we are: black, white, bank robbers, crackheads. You know, conservatives, whatever we are. We all love our children. We all love our families. And families are always tight, even. You know, so why can't we just expand it?
Expand that circle above.
Julian is our family, you know, we should be sticking up for him and sticking together, and you know, he's trying to stick up for his wider family, the children, you know, women's issues, all kinds of things, Guantanamo Bay, human rights.
Which is a lot on the back of someone who's barely just turned 40. So I'm like, that's a lot.
And
to
again,
have
you
done
know,
in
when
one's
WikiLeaks,
lifetime.
everyone's
Even
like, oh,
if your
WikiLeaks,
life is
WikiLeaks
over.
is so cool, WikiLeaks is so cool, and then all of a sudden Julian Assange is arrested and they use the word rapist. Oh, well, I
Right.
don't know if I want to actually stand up and say that and give my name.
It was quick
You
how
know,
it happened.
yeah.
The release of the war crimes.
But that's
and
what the press do. They you know, they totally,
Yeah.
you know, character assassination. That's
Yeah,
what it's
could
called.
happen to anyone.
I mean, they do it with celebrities all the time.
All the time,
Oh, look,
yeah.
let's put them up on a pedestal. Let's put them in the
Yeah,
paper
hack
every
it
week,
until
every
they
week,
shut
every week, and then let's smash them down.
Yeah.
Because it sells, it makes them money, and it serves their agenda. In Julian's
Yeah.
case, you know, it doesn't suit their agenda
you know
and make
what
them money. They want to
yeah.
continue making money from oil. They want to continue sending children's, you know, people's children into the front line as little puppets to do
Yeah.
their killing for oil, and they don't want us all to wake up and go, hey, look,
Yeah.
look at this guy from WikiLeaks is showing us. Shit.
Yeah.
You know, we're criminals, you know, we're going to all
Right.
wake up. It's like we've got, you know, they've got to shut him up. That's,
Right.
that's their agenda.
Yeah.
Shut him up.
But
You
the way
know.
I look at it is they can't erase that.
It's too late now.
Yeah, it's too late.
Because if they
Yeah.
shut him up, we're just going to keep going.
Yeah.
You know.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.